We're pleased to be able to spend some time with the library CEO, Jackie Nytes. In the few months that Jackie has been at the helm as CEO since January, hours at branches have been restored, patron usage is up, and participation in the summer reading program achieved an 8-year high. Meanwhile, the library's 2013 budget is now being considered by the city. Jackie, it's been an interesting and active time since you've taken office. Are you satisfied with the progress so far?
Well, John, I'm very pleased about a lot of the progress that we've been able to make. I don't know if I'd say I'm satisfied because we had some strong goals for this year, but we really are hitting on quite a few of them. The numbers that you referenced about the Summer Reading Club, for example, very exciting, very satisfying to realize that we've had such a significant growth in that program. The highest numbers we've had since 2004. That's phenomenal. It's great.
Talking about restoring service hours, it kind of speaks to our financial ability to have done so. What about the financial health of the library today?
Well, thanks to the efforts of the past board and the willingness of the City County Council to restructure some of our financials, we really are in a good place right now. And I think the financial plan that we have, this has been one of the important accomplishments of the first few months here, is that we have a 5-year financial plan. We can see a sustainable model for this library for the next 5 years. So it took a hard bunch of decisions to get there, but I think we're at a good place.
We mentioned the 2013 budget, which is now being considered by the City County Council. What about the things that are included in the budget that really do address our future plans and that sustainability model that you talk about?
Well, the library board's been very deliberate in piecing this budget together. They've made a number of policy decisions. For example, there are no new staff added in this budget from the property taxes because we know that there just isn't room for that over the long haul. There is new staff that is coming from private sources of funding, and we're very blessed to have that. So that's an example of keeping your eye on the ball 5 years down the road and making sure what we can afford. The board's also made an important policy decision about setting aside enough reserves for cash flow that we won't have to borrow to get through that first 6 months until people pay their taxes in May and June. So those kinds of decisions say a lot about our stability, our sustainability going forward.
Yes. There's also a component in the budget that I've noticed that's termed the LIRF, the Library Improvement Reserve Fund. What is that about?
Well, again, that's an example of looking forward to the future. The library board took a look at our cash position, and rather than give in to the temptation, for example, to do something wild and crazy right now, they are setting funds aside for the future. And it's important. You know, we're here today at the Lawrence Branch Library. This is one of our busiest locations in the entire city. This building circulates as many items as they do at Central Library. And when we look at that, we know that one of these days we're going to have to do something to help up here to meet people's needs for library service in the northeast part of town. And so we've got to be setting some resources aside to plan for that eventual development.
Okay. You've talked a lot this year about the library's unique role in this day and age of kind of serving two purposes. One, providing traditional services such as books and programming, but being able to still provide new things like e-books and online access and so forth. How are we doing in meeting both purposes?
Well, I call that the sandwich time for the library. You know, we're kind of stuck in between these two eras, the traditional era and the time of the future that's coming. And I think we're doing a great job of trying to navigate that. We're spending $5.5 million on library materials, and a significant portion of that is being spent to make e-books and downloadable audios and downloadable music available to our patrons. At the same time, we're still collecting lots and lots of traditional materials for the collection, whether it's hardback books or paperback books, or still getting lots of magazines so people can come in and spend their leisure time reading them. So we're in the middle between the past and the future, but I think we're navigating our way.
But the materials budget is strong, and that has been restored too.
It
correct?
is, and thank goodness that the library board and the city county council understood that in addition to being a place for the public to gather, it is a place where people are able to access the library materials, and our collection is a healthy one. Our budget for collection is healthy for a community our size.
Good. That's very encouraging.
Yes, it is.
Glad to hear
Yes,
that.
yes, it's good
Early
news.
childhood literacy. I know that has been and will continue to be a priority because reading is, as they say, fundamental.
It is. It's fundamental to what we do, and it's fundamental to what our society needs if our children are going to make it through the school system and actually become productive job seekers. Our early childhood literacy efforts are really producing great results. We are seeing children in our daycares becoming much more familiar with reading and the value of reading, the joy of reading. We are training daycare providers. We're training parents and really, again, helping to equip folks for education, being sure that when our children get to third grade, they're going to be able to pass those reading tests.
Is that a role that the library can play uniquely in the community? Is that a way to position the library?
I think it's a role in which we are a key player, but I absolutely think it's a role in which we are a partner.
Okay.
When it comes to the daycare providers, when it comes to the teachers in our school systems, when it comes to the parents and other service providers such as United Way, we are a wonderful partner, and it's been very exciting in my time here to see the interest from so many of these groups in working with the library cooperatively to make sure that our young people have access to the programs and materials that will show them the joy of reading.
One thing that has been new this year is the unveiling of a new website, and when we talk about new services and ways for people to access the library and do business with the library, the website comes into play, and we have a new look.
We have a new look, and it's very dynamic. I'm quite excited about that. It reflects some of the new branding that the Library Foundation helped pay for us. Very dynamic, and it also is a reminder that the library is accessible 24/7.
Yes.
You can go on that website 24/7, get your reference questions answered. If you're calling the homework tutor, you can reserve a book, you can download a book. You can do that at 2 o'clock in the morning if that's your preference.
I've gotten used to using the term the web branch because in fact it is.
Our
and,
virtual branch.
So good.
Yes.
What about, we talk about the library's budget, and we have some budget hearings coming up, ways for people to get involved and participate in the budget discussion. What are we looking at in the months of September and October?
Okay. Well, the library's budget process has several steps, of course. The library board does all of the preliminary work in putting a budget together. And they have already approved a budget that has now been sent on to the City County Council. And on September 20th at the Municipal Corporations Committee meeting, there will be a public hearing on the library's budget. And this happens because the library board members are not elected officials. And so the final word on the library's budget needs to come from elected officials. We understand that. And so that hearing at Municipal Corporations will be a chance for citizens who wish to speak to the importance of the library and us maintaining these hours of service. They can come to that hearing, and in addition to listening to our detailed presentation, there will be an opportunity for public commentary. And we urge people to stop in at that meeting and let the council know that the library really matters to them.
And people can learn about the budget by viewing our website. There's a place there where they can find the PDF version of the budget, so do that, and then follow the library's progress through the budget process online. Jackie mentioned the September 20th meeting, but then the budget itself will be adopted in October by the City Council at some point.
In the library board meeting in which there was a hearing and a vote about the budget, those things are available online to be watched as well. right, through the Channel
Absolutely.
16, and so folks can take a look at that if they want to see the kinds of questions that were asked, or if they want to sit through my PowerPoint presentation, they're welcome to.
Jackie, one final question as you look ahead to year 2 for you. What's in store? What do you hope to accomplish as you get more ingrained into the position of CEO?
Well, we're very blessed in that Lilly Endowment has given us a significant amount of money to do some research and planning for the future of the library system. And so there will be a great deal of activity in the next year that is focused on answering the question about what do libraries look like in the decades to come, and also taking a look around our community and making sure that our library services are appropriately positioned to serve the community. Communities have changed, neighborhoods have grown and developed. We've got to make sure that we're in the right places to serve the community. So we'll be working on a lot of that kind of research in the next year. And I fully expect that the e-book and all of that electronic material will be a major focus as we move on into next year.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your time as we take advantage of these periodic updates with Jackie Nytes, the library CEO. And as we've mentioned, you can learn so much about the library, upcoming programs and activities by visiting the website. It is www.ndpl.org. And Jackie, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for the opportunity, John. Good to talk.